Greetings and welcome to the 46th Global Live Speakers Summit. I'm JB Herrera, founder and CEO of Insight Driven Business, and I'm honored to be your host for today's event, Unlocking Women's Power, the Secrets of Women Empowerment. My business mission is to fuse human wisdom with technology to create values-driven businesses that bring people together. And I've dedicated my career to fostering connections and empowering all voices. I've seen firsthand the strength, resilience, and impact that women bring to leadership, innovation, and community. And my own journey, driven by a mission to unify people through shared values and visionary principles, has really shown me the power of lifting others and championing the underrepresented. I'm continually inspired by the change agents who rise to lead with empathy, intelligence, and integrity. As we begin today's summit, I'd like to share with you a brief story about the Garden of Unity. In a vast garden that stretched across the horizons of the world, there stood ancient trees with roots that ran deep. And for generations, half of these trees had been carefully pruned and bound, their growth restricted by artificial constraints. But then something began to change. It started as a whisper, and then it started stirring deep in the roots of the trees. And one by one, the bound trees began to break free from their bindings. Their branches reached skyward, growing to their natural height and their fullness for the first time. Now, some feared this change. Oh my gosh, the garden is going to become wild, they said. The old order is going to be lost. But the branches grew freely, and something remarkable happened. The entire garden began to thrive in ways we've never seen before. The soil became richer, the air sweeter, and full of the fruit trees were just blooming. But those newly freed and those that were always allowed to grow became more abundant and nourishing than ever. Where there had once been limited resources, new springs of creativity innovation bubbled up. Newly freed trees didn't compete with or overshadow the others, but instead created an ecosystem where all could flourish. Young saplings grew stronger, benefiting from the full expression of every tree's natural gifts. And so, the Garden of Human Potential was transformed. The wisdom of the ages is still in the roots, while the branches of all trees reach toward a future where each could grow to its full potential. In this new garden, strength flows not from dominance, but from equal flourishing of all. And my friends, this is the garden we are growing today, where the unleashing of every individual full potential creates a richer and more abundant world for all. And to help us cultivate this potential, we've gathered an extraordinary panel of speakers who have not only broken free from their own constraints, but have dedicated their lives to helping others do the same. And let me introduce you now, if I could, to our first remarkable speaker, Ella Hall. She is Australia's celebrated intuitive self-mastery coach known as the Platinum Woman. With over 2 decades of experience guiding celebrities and business leaders, Ella has developed the revolutionary Platinum Mastery System. Easy for me to say. The women that are going to be here today are going to provide a great set of information and experience for you to learn in. So get ready for an inspiring journey, and let's begin. Ella, let's welcome you to the stage today. How are you?
Hi, Jesse. I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It's 1 a.m. in the morning here in Melbourne, Australia, but I'm really, really happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Tell us about yourself. Go for it.
Well, I'm here as a guest. I'm living in Melbourne, Australia. As you said, I am a self-mastery coach, intuitive self-mastery and pleasure. So I've been in this industry for 20 years. I've been a lifetime, though, in personal and professional development. I'm the daughter of a renowned psychologist, sex therapist, hypnotherapist, everything a therapist, Dr. Janet Hall, based in Melbourne here as well. And so I say to people, I've been in therapy since I was in utero. And on my journey, I have trained in all sorts of modalities. I was training in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, learning about the power of words and meditation at the age of 4. I was traveling to America, training with Robert Kiyosaki at the age of 8, doing his business school with my parents there. And I grew up listening to a plethora of the greats like Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, like all of those. So it's sort of in my blood, but then taking it into the next dimension as I grew through my own journey with this sacred sexuality piece, this tantric piece that was the best business biohack that I could ever give the world. So I really think that I'm here to contribute one of the world's best kept secrets with your audience today.
Oh, wonderful. Tell us about it.
So magnetic success, what if that didn't mean working harder, but instead you could access it by reclaiming your pleasure, your permission, and your prosperity through power and play. Like, this is what I'm here to gift the world. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, when sleeping women wake, mountains move. And the mountains are the beautiful men and they're our children. And that's what we're here to do as a collective of feminine embodied leaders, is to guide and lead this world back into community, back into wholeness, back into longevity, so we can leave a proud legacy.
Ooh, I love that. So given that that's the case, what do you think the top three topics that you've experienced that can help people today?
The top three topics that I believe can help people?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the things that I'm here to share, well, they're obviously going to help people. So
Right.
the first thing is women need a roadmap. Yeah. So the roadmap that I have is the Platinum Method, and that is activating permission, really reclaiming and embodying your pleasure on every level and walking around in an orgasmic state, vibrating at a higher frequency, and then being embodied in knowing that you can live your value, claim your worth, and be the prosperous woman that you were born to be, as you guide yourself in an empowered state through feminine frequency and in a playful nature. So you're truly intimately connecting with others. Another is to have access to a powerful network of sisters that you feel safe to play with in terms of being in your light, your shadow, and the spectrum of color in between. We need the power of proximity to truly start to stretch our wings and rise as a collective. And then the third thing that I would say is really giving yourself that permission piece to be in your body, to stop thinking all the time, this is the servant, not the master, and come back to the intrinsic portals of feminine power, your heart, your womb, and your pussy.
Wow. That's okay. So given that that's the case, what do you think are some of the topics that inhibit women from doing so?
Well, the first is that believing the conditioning. So women grow up with this conditioning that they are in a self-imposed cage that they don't even realize that they're in. There's an incredible book called Untamed by Glennon Doyle, and she talks about at the start of the book this situation of going to the zoo with her daughters and watching the cheetah run. And the cheetah has been trained to follow a golden Labrador chasing this bunny down this channel to catch the bunny and get fed a big chunk of meat. And when it gets there at the end, it's tamed, right? It's forgotten, it's wild. And she says at one point they look into the enclosure and the cheetah is like standing there, and it's like her daughter says, "Mummy, it's wild again." And it's remembered it's wild. It's there in the savannah. You're a goddamn cheetah. Beautiful women, right? Again, it's stepping into masculine drive. This is the second piece. Really giving away your feminine essence, not allowing yourself to tap in to your creative potential, your childlike innocence, all of these things that are not celebrated, like doing, hustling, making it happen. The feminine doesn't make it. She creates it into beingness and births it into beingness. So really coming back into that flow and not being conditioned again. It's all the conditioning. The third is the taboo around allowing yourself to be in your pleasure. To believe that rest is something to feel guilty about. To believe that you're not worthy and deserving of truly taking time to put you at the top of the priorities list. So many beautiful women I work with, they come to me burnt out, stuck at the crossroads in confusion, spinning their wheels, or like ready to up level or pivot, but they've got nothing left in the tank to do it because they've been giving and giving from an empty tank. And you cannot give what you do not have, and you cannot receive that which you are not. So
Mm.
they're the three things that I feel really are holding women back at the moment in life, in love, and definitely in business.
Ooh, yeah, for sure. That's been my experience as well. So
Mm.
given that you're providing that guidance and wisdom to women, um, go through, if you could, one of a process that you might work with a woman to get them to their peak potential.
Well, it's really interesting because the first thing that we do is start to tune in their intrinsic mastery of the superconscious. We
Mm.
get them out of their head and start to reconnect them into the body's wisdom. This thinks, this knows. You were born with a blueprint of your greatness. Every
Mhm.
cell, every atom in your body is alive with knowing of the ages. And this is that unity consciousness that you and I were talking about before
Mhm.
we went live, and that beautiful garden that you were explaining. It's like, oh, yes. So we actually step in through the doorway of the heart, and that's where we can access your absolute limitless being. So the first thing I would do is actually guide them through a guided quantum meditation. This
Mm.
is a meditative process that I've mastered over 20 plus years in the field that gets really deep results because we're actually working through quantum time. So we're able to affect the mind, the physiological body. As I said, every atom in the body has a memory. Every cell has a memory. It's its own universe. We affect the emotional body and the spiritual or energetic body all at the same time,
Mm.
meaning that we affect and impact fast and lasting change. When all parts of you are aligned and come into harmony, then every part of you is getting the memo that it's safe to step up, to elevate, to take that next courageous step, right? And all parts of you are in agreement that it's a F yes. That's when you can really start to get some serious momentum happening. I'm actually going to guide some people through something at some point if I have the time. If I'm
Oh,
allowed.
absolutely. I'd
Yeah.
love that.
You just let me know when.
Well, I think that'd be wonderful. Why don't we do that right now, if you're
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I love this. This is what I live for. So I'm not just about talking at people. Talking is wonderful. And our brains, again, they can assimilate and retain a little bit of information, but the body remembers everything. When you've embodied something, you've truly got it on a different level. This is how we master things. Yeah. So my
Mhm.
first invitation is I'm going to invite everyone to actually close your eyes. And we're going to start by taking 3 centered breaths in through the nose, and we're going to expand the belly on the inhale. So really filling the belly. On the exhale, open the mouth and let some sound fall out of you. Now, my invitation is to notice how many of you just contracted and went, I don't want to make any sound. I sound weird. This is strange. This is unusual. And we judge ourselves. So we're already stopping the magic, right? We're
Right.
already not giving ourselves permission to move, breathe, and sound. And intention, movement, breath, and sound are the 4 key cornerstones of Tantra, right?
Mm.
Seriously game-changing biohack technology, ancient wisdom brought into modern day. So again, breathing in through the belly, close your eyes. Out through the mouth and just let go. Let go of your mouth, your jaw, your tongue, your lips. Let it all go. These areas are directly connected to the sex center, and when we're holding tension through the jaw, through the mouth, through the lips, through the tongue, we're not showing up in our truth. We're not speaking our truth with love. We're not really standing in our purpose, our leadership. And if we've got blocks there, we've got blocks going on at our sex center, our portal for manifestation. One more deep breath in. And this time, let it all go. Let it all go. Beautiful. Well done, JB. Awesome. So now we're going to start to use the power of the mind. And this time we're guiding it as the servant. So the mind and the body don't understand the difference between what we imagine to be real and what's actually happening. So this is where the power of our imagination to start shifting things in quantum time becomes one of our greatest tools. So breathing in, I want you to imagine that we're breathing in from the very center of the earth. We're breathing in tendrils of light. They're moving through wherever you are on the planet, and you've got holes gently spiraling open at the base of the soles of your feet. And with every breath, you're breathing and guiding in this beautiful, healing, nourishing, grounding light. Breathe in and let go. And as you're breathing, you can feel this light starting to activate through every atom, cell, tissue, fiber, muscle, and bone of your physical body, moving from the tips of your toes to your heels, your ankles, your shins and calves and knees, the fronts and backs, the bigger muscles, the hamstrings, the quads, the IT bands, the adductors, and just imagining a golden pearl of light sitting just outside your sex center. And this golden pearl is gathering in luminosity and density. And we're going to breathe it in now through the base and imagine it's filling the pelvis, the glutes, your sex. Breathe in and let go out down through the base of the soles of your feet. Letting go of anything and everything old, heavy, or stagnant. Any person, place, or thing that's been taking up valuable real estate in your body. Letting it all go as we breathe in now through the sacral energy center, your portal of creation. Breathing in, feeling all the major organs of your midsection, let go. Breathing into the solar plexus now, and imagine that at your solar plexus there burns a flame. Whatever color you get is perfect, go with it. Breathe into this fire and expand it. Imagine this flame is starting to fill your entire being, fill it up. And on the exhale, I want you to imagine you're just shooting it out of your body. It's getting bigger, brighter, more expansive, taking up all the space around you. Remember, give yourself permission to be beautiful, big, bright, shiny, and brilliant. Imagine it's expanding all the way to the four corners of the cosmos. Take back your space. Give yourself full permission to shine in your light, in your brilliance, knowing that when you do so, you give everyone else around you permission to shine right back. Breathing in now through the cool and the air of your lungs and your heart. Imagine your heart is a beautiful flower, but it's in full bud. But with every breath, like a warm summer breeze, very gently, very slowly, your heart flower will begin to expand and open. Do not rush. This is the pole of your feminine energy, and the feminine never likes to be rushed. She wants to be invited. She wants to be given all the elements, sunlight, water, fertile earth. She wants to be given all the permission to begin to blossom and bloom all on her own. And as your heart flower begins very gently, very slowly to crack open, imagine all the love that you are moving over your clavicles, down your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, the palms of your hands and your fingertips. Bringing your hands together into a prayer formation at your chest, starting to rub them now. Starting to rub your hands faster. I want you to feel your life force, your energy getting warmer. Your hands faster, 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 faster. Stop. Bring your hands apart, still facing one another, and just notice. What can you feel? You cannot get it wrong. Just notice what happens if you bring your hands even further apart. What happens to that sensation? Is it hot? Is it cool? Is it vibrating? Just notice. Don't judge anything. Bring your hands now even closer together. Just notice if you can feel something magnetic. Do not touch your hands. Just know that you've just charged up your energetic body. This is the energy that you give out of you all day, every day. This is the energy that is always and forever leaving you. How often do you give yourself permission to feed and nourish yourself? Do it now. Bring your left hand over the center of your chest, heart chakra. I'm going to invite everyone to bring their right hand, no one can see down here, over their sex center. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, lower belly. We're activating both the masculine and the feminine poles of energy. Breathing in through the base of the soles of the feet up to the heart. Hold here momentarily. On the exhale, letting go down through your own hands into your body. Feeding and nourishing you with your own life force, your own love, your own permission granting yes. Breathing in again. One more time, let go. Bring your hands up now, just massaging the throat, massaging the jaw. Bring your hands down over the throat and just repeat these words. I give myself full permission to express my truth with love and show up authentically, tapping the heart. I am so safe, so held, so loved. Bringing the hands back down anywhere that feels comfortable as we breathe in through the front of the face, the back of the head, finding third eye, pineal gland. This is your all-knowing, all-seeing eye of truth. We're going to breathe into this all-knowing, all-seeing eye now, breathing in. And on the exhale, shoot the colored flame that you are out through the front of your forehead, back of your head at the same time. burning up all the veils of illusion, projection, confusion, fear, frustration, doubt, overwhelm, hustle, have to, shoulds. And instead, we're going to breathe into all you deeply desire: magnetism, flow, creativity, abundance, inspiration, love, joy, intimacy, connection, absolute truth and trust. Breathe in and out through the crown at the top of your head, up, up, up through the hemisphere, the stratosphere. Feel yourself going up and deepening into the very heart, the epicenter that is Father, Son, the divine masculine, holding every one of us as he holds all planets in their orbit. He holds us from just simply being. He is not doing anything. He's not micromanaging, and yet he casts the light and all planets revolve in perfect harmony around him. Allow him to hold you now as you breathe him back through the crown at the top of your head, out through your third eye, burning up all residual veils. Let go. In through your throat, open and activate through the throat, out through the heart, sharing all the love that you are. In through your power center, amplify your fire. Out through the sex, let go. In through your base, and out down through the base of the soles of your feet, grounding you. And I want you to feel yourself now absolutely grounded in your now, present, feeling deeply connected, but also at the same time suspended and held in the arms of the cosmos. Masculine meets feminine, yin meets yang, light meets shadow, and all of you brought into harmony, balance, and integrated in integrity at your epicenter. From this place, just notice where there's more energy moving where there wasn't before. Notice how much more free you feel. Just notice. And when I count to 3, coming back into this space, feeling really clear, aligned, free. 1, 2, 3. How was that?
Wow.
So that's just an opening, right? That's just bringing you back into yourself, and no one but yourself. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel so much more alive. I've got tingles in my fingers.
Yep.
I really feel deeply, deeply connected. And when you're like starting to walk around creating from this place of like allowing yourself to be in your body, connected to your mission, your vision, your mastery, on purpose, able to speak your love, speak your truth with love. It's just that version of you is in his or her absolute feminine frequency, met with masculine holding in your leadership.
That's amazing. Okay. That was totally awesome. Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much for coming on that like little adventure with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to participate in the journey. This is awesome. So, Ella, are there ways that people can get in touch with you? Is there something that you'd like to present to people?
Absolutely.
This has been an amazing experience, and I want other people to experience that with you also.
This is just like a microcosm of what the potential where we can explore together. So the process I take people on is through the Platinum Method, and that is that journey I explained through permission, activating the pleasure, like really owning the prosperous person and woman that you be, and living from a space of feminine power and playfulness. So I have a Magnetic Success Masterclass happening on Halloween, which is the 31st of October. And I think I've given everyone the link to that. So that would really be the next step in really starting to dip your toe in the water. We are going to work deeply through the access point of permission, which is the game changer. Without that, you cannot, as I said, move, breathe, sound, be in permission to go past your glass ceiling into the next level of your leadership, of your beingness, of your romantic life. Like all of these things require a level of permission that no one else from outside of you is going to give you. You have to resource that from within. And this is what we'll be playing with. And we're going to do it in a super conscious way, right? So I want people to walk away again with that embodied experience of like, oh my God, I know how to do that now. And of course, if anybody is feeling the resonance, really curious to learn more about what I do and how I work, please book a discovery call with me. I love connecting with people. And if that goes well and it's a yes, I say an F yes from both you and me,
Right.
then we jump onto an intuitive breakthrough call. And again, I don't need to sell anything. Everything I do is about alignment through using your own intuitive mastery to figure out, is this actually the bridge? Is working with me the next most obvious step? So that's what I'd be inviting people to do. Connect. Jump into the Platinum Woman Queendom, my free Facebook group. There's so much juicy value in there. We've got 21-day challenges, and just all my gifts go in there. I'm just here to rise with the collection of other amazing feminine embodied leaders who are done with masculine burnout and hustle, who really want to reclaim their feminine power and their magnetic success through activating pleasure. That's the best business biohack they ever could. So come play.
Wow.
Come play around with me.
Wonderful. Ella, thank you so much for giving of yourself today. And for all of the audience who's here today and who will be watching on this recording, take the opportunity to be the way that Ella has described for you. Reach out to her. Give her the opportunity to help you discover that inner strength of who you are. Please take this opportunity. Ella, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
It's beautiful. Like, I just want to really acknowledge you as this beautiful mountain of a man that's really holding the space, the Shiva energy for the Shakti, right? We need beautiful, positive, empowered men as we rise as a collective to be there for these beautiful, empowered women. Yeah, it's give and receive. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Ella. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, well, our next speaker understands that true transformation happens when we unlock the power of both mind and spirit. I'm delighted to introduce Valerie Kim, a remarkable woman who has revolutionized the way we think about personal empowerment through her groundbreaking work in quantum psychology. As a serial entrepreneur and pioneering neurocoach, Valerie has discovered something profound: that mental, emotional, and financial independence are not separate journeys, they're really intrinsically linked. And through her neurocoaching approach, she's helping women navigate life's most challenging transitions, not just to survive, but to emerge stronger and more confident than ever before. Her work goes beyond traditional coaching. It's about rewiring the very way we think about our potential. And by combining the precision of psychology with the transformative power of quantum thinking, she's created a methodology that doesn't just inspire change, it creates lasting transformation. So today she's going to share with us how we can harness our innate mental and emotional resources to build not just successful careers, but truly fulfilling lives. So get ready for insights that are going to challenge your assumptions and expand your understanding of what's possible. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Valerie Kim. Valerie, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for a beautiful introduction and having me here today. I'm really delightful to be here and share the stage with amazing speakers. And I want to start with asking yourself, fulfillment or suppression? Healthy self-worth or self-doubt? Courage to be unapologetically self or hide yourself under the masks that are acceptable by society? Following the old scenarios, misconceptions, prejudices, or create life on our own terms. It's all about the choices that we make every single day. And it's up to us how our life is going to feel like, how it's going to unfold, and where it's going to lead us. So, hi, as you know, my name is Valerie, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a co-founder of platform I Speak Up, Light Up that champions women on their path to entrepreneurial success, but also create life when they feel independent on emotional, mental, spiritual, and of course, financial levels. And I'm also passionate about studying about the work of subconscious mind and how we actually can use it in order to really make every single goals come true, every single dreams and wishes. During the last 7 years, I have been working with hundreds of women, and I would like to share today 5 elements of the true empowerment. Well, but first of all, let's talk about what empowerment actually is. I hear, like, being in this industry, I heard so many times, and I was asked, like, why women empowerment is actually necessary, because we don't have to think like men's empowerment. To be honest, I truly believe that in the modern world, women do need empowerment in terms of having a clear guidance to who they truly are, what is their true power, connect with themselves, heal, and feeling safe in order to step into this power, unleash, and serve the world. We, don't need empowerment because we are weak. And unfortunately, I feel sometimes that the industry itself of women empowerment took a bit wrong direction, making women feel like, you know what, if you want to feel worthy, if you want to be kind of feel accomplished, meaningful, to be someone in society, you don't need specific accolades, certificates, validation, award, basically prove you are good enough through external factors. Why, for me, I believe that the true empowerment starts within. And it includes a process of healing, not only like our personal traumas, but also as a collective understanding who woman truly is. Because for so many years, we have been suppressed, convinced, and in a way brainwashed that something was wrong with us. While in reality, just because the power of women in the past was something uncontrollable, her natural essence, intuition, these abilities to connect with divine was something hard to explain with the logical mind, hard to control, hard to manipulate. We know the story, what has been happening with those who were not afraid to unleash their true gifts, true abilities, serve others, serve the world. And I think nowadays, despite the fact that we have all the resources, all the kind of conditions to self-express ourselves, make money through helping others using our natural gifts and abilities, we're still afraid of that. We're still afraid of our true power. So that's why so many of us prefer to settle down for things and for a specific treatment. For example, whether it's doing job that you don't enjoy anymore, battle for a specific seat in a corporation or maybe in a specific network, or maybe it's just, staying in the toxic relationships that don't serve you at all. But it feels common and it's safe. I personally call it a painful comfort. It's the scenario we're subconsciously so much used to be in, and we're continuing reliving it again and again and again. The question is, what if we can feel better? For, feel better, feel free, stop being afraid of being who we truly are. What if we define how much we earn doing what we love? What if we heal and develop healthy self-worth that will allow us not only give and take love, respect, appreciation, but also set healthy boundaries? What if we realize that our power is not a curse at all? It's actually a blessing. So to unlock it, there are 5 elements that I would like to talk about today. So first of all, it's the power of quiet revolution. It's all about small daily actions that create the biggest impact. Empowerment doesn't always mean to, have these grand gestures. It often comes from consistent, small actions that accumulate over time and transform lives. Just like in sport, it takes years of daily work in order to become a champion. Or in business, it takes years of trials and errors and persistent small actions in order to figure out what is your personal elixir of success. Uh, if you start now, you will get this clarity of precise direction. How do you want your life to look like, feel like, be like? Define a specific roadmap that will lead to this desired life and be committed on everyday action. Like, what is it today I can do in order to be where I want to be? And embrace every single step. Celebrate yourself. From watering a new mindset and self-concept, embracing setbacks and, this kind of temporary inconvenience sometimes, to pushing out from the comfort zone and do at least one thing different. That's where the transformation starts. It's never about external factors. It's an internal self-work, self-discovery, I have this self-mastery journal. There are so many tools that can support you on your journey. The second thing is redefining strength. Embracing vulnerability is a power. True empowerment often involves the courage to be vulnerable, admit uncertainty, and actually being able to ask for help. I do it myself is never a sign of power. It's actually a sign of, insecurity in a way. This soft strength allows women to create genuine connections and build resilience over the time. Success is never a lone game. It's a teamwork. And your journey can be as lonely as you decide it's supposed to be. It's up to you, right? So the third thing is, I think nowadays it's very crucial, it's very important, is financial empowerment, taking control of economic independence. Regardless of the situation you are currently in, being financially educated and take your finances under the control is key to claim your power back. Even if you need to start building your wealth from literally scratch, regardless your age, background, current occupation, invest in learning and implementing strategies to manage your finances, figuring out how can you create multiple income streams, take care about yourself. It gives you physical, emotional, and mental independence to do with your life whatever you want to do. Pivot it in any direction you desire to pivot without being dependent on something or someone. The fourth element is also kind of connected with this financial stability. Basically, it is an inner stability. I believe we women, especially, always looking for security, we're looking for protection, we are looking for, create a stable life. But the thing is, it is never stability. It is never about someone else. It is never about something else externally. It starts within. And based on it, we start to build something on an external world, just like abundance. It starts within. When you are allowing yourself to break free from all the limiting beliefs, old scenarios about money, about relationships, about how life was supposed to be for our grand parents, right? Now is a completely different world. And when you allow yourself to tap into this abundance within, then you will see the changes in the outside world. And the last important element is, of course, the empowerment of sisterhood. Community is a catalyst for growth. The role of female community, I believe, some support networks, it's really underestimated. Because nowadays we have a variety of different communities, networks, coffee chats, and but if you have a look at this, they are very different. They have different tastes. They have different values. So find what really resonates with you. Because when you feel safe, when you feel empowered enough to be who you truly are, you know where you want to go. It's easy to make a decision. Where do you want to belong? What do you want to support? Or maybe create your own network of people who are not just like-minded, but also like-spirited. When you realize that it's never like, let me be here just alone doing the things. But when you are in the right environment, you start to flourish. There is always an opportunity to learn from so many different people, but also share your wisdom. And that's the community we also focusing to build up, because healed and fulfilled women, That's where the real empowerment lays. It's never about the external things. It's about being internally confident enough and have this healthy self-worth. I believe that the healed and fulfilled woman, she's able to accomplish anything. She radiates joy. She allows herself to be compassionate and vulnerable, and do it gracefully. Compassionate not just towards herself, but also towards others. And I also believe that this healthy and fulfilled, empowered woman will never hurt others, in particular other women, will never be a source of tears, pain, hurt of other women. It's all about real, true, authentic support. On the other side, as we are powerful creatures, when we are empowered by ourselves, we are also, and we're aligned internally, we're also able to better serve others, our families, our communities, our relationships, the world in general. We also change the story for the next generations, showing our children that women nowadays can have it all. We just need sometimes to be reminded about that. And we just need sometimes a pinch of empowerment. So thank you very much for joining me today at this summit. And I invite you today to self-reflect a bit and think, what is it you truly want? What is the life you desire to live? It's never too much. There is nothing impossible. And the most important part, what action can you take today? Don't wait until Monday. What is it exactly can you undertake in order to pivot your life in the direction you truly desire? And if you need help, you need support, I'm really happy to help you, because it's your time to shine, time to light up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valerie. I really appreciate it. That's great information. Please take the opportunity to reach out to Valerie. She's a wealth of knowledge and experience. And the points that she talked about today are really critical in helping you identify that part of you that can be the best woman that you can be. So thank you again, Valerie. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
Well, sometimes the most powerful transformations come from our deepest challenges. And our next speaker embodies this truth, having turned her personal journey into a beacon of hope for others. I'm honored to introduce Tasha Salinas. What makes Tasha's story so compelling isn't just where she ended up, it's how she got there. And when life presented her with what seemed like an ending, she discovered it was actually a beginning. And through this journey of healing and self-discovery, she found not just inner peace, but her true calling, which is helping others navigate their own paths to enlightenment. Tasha is a recognized, certified enlightenment coach, inspirational speaker, and emotional intelligence coach. As a motivational speaker and coach, she has a remarkable gift for helping people see that their challenges aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones to something greater. She understands firsthand that our most difficult moments can become our most powerful teachers, and guides others to find the hidden opportunities within their own struggles. Today, we're excited to have her here so she can share insights about how we can transform our personal challenges into those catalysts for growth. So please welcome a woman who has turned her own transformation into a mission to help others, the inspiring Tasha Salinas. Welcome, Tasha.
Hello, how are you guys doing today? All right, well, I'm just jumping in. So did you know that abracadabra means I create as I speak? Yeah, it's true. So we see this in magic, in illusion, like on stage all the time. The magician has his hat and he's like, I'm going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And he says abracadabra, and then he pulls it out. He said it, and then we saw it. Isn't that amazing? So what does that have to do with enlightenment? Well, I want you to know this much. My name's Tasha Salinas, and after a 20-year marriage and facing imminent health crises, I found myself actually breaking in half. I felt I was having a nervous breakdown. I didn't understand what it was. All of my deepest fears were regurgitating themselves to the surface, and I had no idea what was happening. all of these voices in my mind were breaking me down, and it just broke me in half. And what came from that was my understanding of myself and this journey of enlightenment. Enlightenment, we've always put it in this big area far away that maybe one day will be good enough. We become enlightened. Well, it's not that easy. It's simply easier than just forgetting everything that you're not. Enlightenment is becoming lighter and lighter as you release all of the weights that have always ever held you down. And here in this talk today, for the next maybe 15, 12 minutes, we're going to talk through that. And it's extremely simple. It starts with knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and then expressing yourself. So knowing yourself, how do we do that? You know, we think we know who we are. We think we know. But what happens when we stop thinking for a minute? What happens when we just suspend all thought and we just get silent and we sit with ourselves? What happens is you start to understand that you have thoughts and then you have emotions. You have experiences and then you have the way you think about those experiences, and you have feelings, and your body has certain pulses through it. Sometimes you feel that charge and you are so identified with anger or fear or anxiety or whatever it is. That's not actually who you are. That's energy just simply running your body. So to know yourself, you got to go within. You got to separate what is going on from who you are. You have to separate what you're thinking from who you know yourself to be. You can't know anybody if you don't spend time with them. And it's weird. In our Western society, we've been taught to go, 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 and create, and do all the things that help us to become who we think we are, when in reality, we are none of those. We are simply the awareness behind our thoughts and our emotions. The really neat thing about getting quiet and going within and learning who you are and knowing yourself, you start to understand that actually emotions are simply just energy in motion. Yeah. From Latin, emotion is immovere, which means energy in motion. So when you stop all motion, you start to understand the energy is your awareness. And then you also see that your thoughts are simply labels that you have placed to those emotions. Something happens when we go within and we sit with ourselves. We start to see there's two different paths that we can take. So for me, for example, right now, I'm actually in the midst of a huge career shift. I have my own company now. I've created my own thing. And you know what? I have options in how I want to experience this situation right now in this time in my life. I can be nervous and I can be scared and I could just kind of be frozen, or I can choose the path of courage and of self-trust and of knowing that I'm stepping into my calling to help people understand that we are on this earth to live a life of joy. Yes, that's what I know. And so I can choose with my thoughts to label the energy that's running through my body as fear, or I can choose to label the energy that's running through my body as calling, as inspiration, as enlightenment, as I get to open my mouth and speak this message that your soul knows and that your soul can feel. So that's why we know ourselves, number one. Number two, we trust ourselves. Trusting yourself is actually the key here. You know yourself, you trust yourself, and you express. But that trust, it's that deep centered trust. Once you get inside and you sat with yourself and you've allowed yourself to release everything that isn't actually you and release everything that doesn't feel good. That's how you know what to release, by the way. If it doesn't feel good, you let it go because it's a thought. When you let the thoughts go, then you can see any situation in your life objectively, and you can choose how you perceive it and then trust what you've chosen to perceive. I know that sounds wild. It's called self-trust, and it's a new thing. They don't sell it on Amazon because you already have it in your back pocket. You just trust who you are, you trust who you want to be, and you absolutely just stay centered in that. So here's the secret to enlightenment. It's not bypassing your emotions. We don't just decide to be happy and just go there. We sit and we go in that darkness. Like I said, you go within and you understand that your shadows give shade to darkness, which gives the light that much more ability to shine, because the light of one candle could never extinguish the dark. The darkness, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The darkness can never extinguish the light of a candle. It could never do that. And your trust in yourself illuminates and it feeds that fire. And it starts to just kind of get bigger and bigger when you're like, you know what? I know who I am. And I trust myself. I'll tell you one thing. When you know who you are, you trust how your body feels. And you start to label those emotions with a lot more clarity. I trust myself because I am worthy. I am capable. I am called and I matter. I'm an enlightened being. I'm a human being divine on earth. I'm here for a reason. I didn't make myself be born. But you know what? Since I am here, I'm going to play in the playground called life. And that comes from that sense of trust. Your entire life will change when you decide to know yourself and trust yourself. And then guess what? You get to express it. And that's the fun part. That joy just kind of spills out of you. Your energy, you become buoyant in whatever path you choose to take because you're free. You're not weighted down by the fears and the what ifs or the programming or the paradigms or the culture that we were born in or any of the things that we could allow to distract us and move us away from who we actually are. So you get to trust yourself. So express yourself. Once you know yourself, you trust yourself, and then you get to express yourself. That expression, like I said, is the best part. So back to the abracadabra. So I create as I speak. So you know yourself, you trust yourself, and now you get to express yourself. And it starts with how you speak to yourself. You create your reality by how you speak to yourself, by how you express that emotion. And everything always starts as a thought, as an idea, as maybe a vision that pops into your mind or just a longing of your heart, whatever that is, express it. And that means facing your fears. That means understanding that you're worthy of everything that might ever happen to you because it's always happening for your good. And so how you think about yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you speak about yourself, how you speak to others, how you express all of your energy is how you create your reality. How you express all of your energy is how you pull the life of your dreams out of a hat. I create as I speak, abracadabra. It's as though you are magical because you are. When we talk about expression, my gifting is speaking is this. This makes me so happy. It's like breathing for me, and it comes from my soul, from my gut, from just the core of my being. I get to express who I am. And so who I am is someone who understands, like you, that my voice is magic and my words are medicine. So with that, I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to take a minute right now, and I'm going to go ahead and lead you through this process. And so I know you're looking at me on a screen and you're like, okay, lady, I guess. Well, I can't see you. No one can see you. So I want to invite you just for a quick moment, just to close your eyes. And if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, maybe look down in a soft gaze, or you can look at me, that's fine. And what I want you to do is invite you to go within your heart. And I want you to sit just for a few moments and feel your heartbeat. And understand that your heart beats whether you try to force it to or not. There's something bigger than you think you are, and that is your actual true self. The thing that beats your heart is also the thing that fuels your passion for living and your passion for life. But I want you to feel that passion. I want you to feel that fire. And as you feel it, allow my words to just wash over you. And I would love for you to try them on just to see how they feel. Feel the emotion. I am worthy. I'm worthy of the good life of my dreams. I am safe to release the fears that I've always held on to. I'm safe to open my mind up to new ways of perceiving my reality. And I'm safe to trust what I find. I'm safe to express my heart and have the conversations and then step into my calling and run towards the life of my dreams. So I'd like to invite you to take a deep breath into your nose. And as you exhale through your mouth, come back to this right now moment. And I just want to welcome you to the best life that you can imagine. It starts with knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and then expressing yourself. And soon you'll find, almost like clay at your fingertips, you get to actually create the life of your dreams by how you speak to yourself. as though it's magic. So once again, my name is Tasha Salinas, and I'm a certified enlightenment coach. I love to help people find out who they actually are. I do it on stage. I'll do it in front of a screen. I'll do it one-on-one in my coaching conversations. I'm happy to help you if you need assistance. This is the evolution of human consciousness. We are now aware that we actually get to choose to walk ourselves home to enlightenment, to being the divine human being that we've always been, but we never knew that we could just step into it, simply releasing who we aren't and stepping into who we are. So thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
Oh, Tasha, that's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So before you go, I'm not going to let you go yet. Okay.
Here. No,
No.
keep me all
Okay.
day.
All right. So it's important that people understand the message that you've delivered today. More
Yes, sir.
importantly, I think, is for people to take action on what you've discussed. How can people reach you,
Yeah.
and how can they experience this on a more consistent basis to help them improve their lives?
Thank you for asking. What great questions. First of all, you can find me on all the socials. I'm
Uh-huh.
Tasha Salinas on Facebook. She Speaks 99 on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Just find me. I also dropped my business card. I'll drop that here in the chat here in a moment.
Mhm.
And that has all of my contact info. And then how people can do this, you can start right now. It's just by coming back to your breath. Your breath is your anchor. Your breath is the thing that helps you get into the right now moment. You always are in the right now moment. And so I'll help you this. We can do this. I have multiple ways that we can approach this because life does happen, but you are always ever in the present moment. So that's the call to action, is just be present, remove the distractions, and just be mindful with where you are in the moment.
Oh, I love it. And that's such a difficult thing to do for many people. And I mean, I'm one of those, right? Because sometimes you get so involved in doing whatever you're doing
Yeah.
that you're not aware of all of those things that are kind of going on inside of us. And understanding how your breath works and how it centers you and it starts to bring that energy up is one of the critical things. And I was reminded of this the last time we had our conversation when I
Yeah.
first met you. It was totally awesome. And I've been practicing that on a daily basis. So I want to invite everybody who's listening today to really pay attention to what Tasha has been saying and take it to heart. Reach out to her on social. Take the opportunity to experience the wisdom that she has. This is exactly what Global Speakers Talk is all about. And Tasha, again, I want to thank you so much for being here, your generosity and time and in energy and in love for everybody. Again, I really thank you.
Thank you. It is my honor and it is my heart to be able to be here right now. So thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
Okay, thanks, Tasha.
Bye-bye.
Well, now it's really interesting. We've come to this point in our program today where we've got some technical challenges with one of our speakers, but until such time as we can kind of get that handled, I wanted to kind of express to all of the listening audience that what we've been talking about today is really critical for building a world that brings people together. Women's empowerment is so critical. And we as men need women to empower themselves. We need to be reminded that we're all one. And it's very difficult from a male perspective to sometimes remember that there are strong females, women, who meet us at an equal level. And I will be the first to admit that it's very simple and easy for men to, forget that that's the case. And on behalf of all men, I want to apologize to the women who have felt disempowered by us. But by the same token, I invite you to step into your power. I invite you to work together with men moving forward because your strength enables us to bring people together. So what I'd like to do right now is kind of step back and welcome our next guest. In a world that often equates success with compromise, Our next speaker stands as proof that you can build an empire while staying true to your values. I'm thrilled to introduce Misty Gilbert. She's a self-made millionaire whose journey from healthcare professional to multifaceted entrepreneur exemplifies the power of integrity-driven success. Over the past 2 decades, Misty has built not just one, but 3 thriving companies from the ground up in Paso Robles, California. Her business portfolio spans consulting, financial services, and coaching, but what truly sets her apart isn't just her business acumen, it's really her unwavering commitment to principles. And I'm really big on this. In a world of quick fixes and easy credit, she's championed the revolutionary idea that true success and debt-free living can go hand in hand. Drawing from 30 plus years in healthcare, Misty brings a unique perspective to business leadership, one that combines practical expertise with genuine care for people's well-being. And since founding her first business in 2004, she's taken her message to national stages, authored impactful works, delivered memorable TEDx talks that continue to inspire success. So today she's going to share us the principles that have guided her on her remarkable journey. Get ready for the insights that will challenge conventional wisdom and show you how to build success on a foundation of integrity. Please join me in welcoming a true pioneer in values-based entrepreneurship, the remarkable Misty Gilbert. Misty, welcome.
Thank you, JB. Great to be here today with you.
Thank you. I know we've had some challenges getting connected today, but thank you very much. So, Misty, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about your story. This is about women's empowerment and how we can bring people together. You're an inspiration, and I'd love for you to tell your story.
Yeah, I have firsthand experience of having been through some challenging situations, particularly when I was 17. I was raped by a man 28 years older than me, and my parents didn't believe me and put me through an experience of a sentence because of religious beliefs, which I won't go into. My TED Talk does cover some of it. But I was born in Paso Robles, California, lived in California for the first 20 years of my life, and then relocated here to Texas. And I've been here for the last 27 years and have established 3 companies. Never had a plan to have 3 companies, but through a process of events, 27, I launched the first one. And then in 2016, launched my second. In 2018, launched my third. So I am passionate about living intentionally, creating the life that you want. And I believe that those things can only happen when we are in tune to our core values and we live them and we breathe them and we be them. So what does that look like as a woman? Well, you're going to face challenges in a entrepreneurship role because as of now, things aren't always equal. And when you have other foundations like I have had and experienced of being raped or things that put you in positions where you may be uncomfortable or you may feel challenged even deeper because people see you as weaker or been easy to take advantage of. So learning to have the strength and to walk in your values and live them and breathe them, be them is not an easy quest, especially in a corporate world where to succeed means that you put yourself down and you're a martyr and you give beyond capacity, you overgive, you become a workaholic, you work through lunches, you take on more than you can to prove you can do it because as a woman, you want to be treated as equal. So you want to compete in qualifying for the position. And I find that that causes us as women to live more stressed. And that's something I have really been focusing on in my life because I did just that. I worked really hard. I was very successful, but I had a impact of those choices physically, creating additional health issues. I currently deal with Lyme disease and mold toxicity illness, and it impacts my ability to work as much as I want to. But creating the life that you want happens when we take a step back, take a deep breath, and we look at what are our values and how are we living in alignment to those, and what is success and when is enough enough. So, you know, what are your goals? Is it to be a millionaire? Is it to have a 6-figure income? Is it to create a business and be able to sell it, or to provide work for other people who work for you as a team, or to be a global company? I think that the more that we look at really what do we define as success, and our inner world creates our outer world, we get what we focus on. So what is it that we really want in our lives, and how are we going to create that? Are we going to create it in stress? Or are we going to create it in peace? Are we going to create it in opposition or teamwork? And I think that there's a lot as women we bring to the table to help transition the workplace and entrepreneurship journey to be able to make it an equal space for men and women.
Wow, I agree completely. For the past 35 years, I've worked with probably 90% of my clients have been women, Misty. And I want to say that your experience and overcoming what you've done is amazing. And truly an inspiration for all other women entrepreneurs as well. As you've climbed and built these businesses, what would you say are some of the key elements that that women should look for as they're building that part of their lives?
Well, I think it starts with knowing their foundation of non-negotiables, deal
Yeah,
breakers.
right.
Because if we don't have those set, it's going to be very hard to live within the capacity of what we can bring to the table and not be overextended. And when we become overextended, then you're opening the door for other things to come in, like resentment, frustration. When you know what's important to you and what you have to thrive and be successful, then you look for an environment that's going to help cultivate that. That doesn't mean that it exists at the beginning, but just like any relationship, whether it's with friends or with dating or anything else, the more you understand them and their personality style, their love languages, their needs, their wants, how they communicate, and we adapt to each other and see, do we have the capacity to grow? Is there mutual respect? Is there understanding that this is going to take some work for it to work for them and to work for me? And as women, we often don't say no. So we take anything on because we want to be that support. We want that administrative role. We want that CEO or president role, vice president, whatever it is, or we want to be that collaborating strategic business partner or consultant. And we want the opportunity, whether it's for recognition or whether it's to further our career or for compensation. But is it truly in alignment with the values that I have, where I want to spend my time, what I want to be involved in, how I want to be known? Is this a company that I believe truly has a brand behind them that supports and validates women? It's easy for us to put something to a front, but we don't live it, breathe, and be it. We can have a slogan on the wall that's a statement, but does the company really execute that? And you only get that by doing research and having courageous conversations.
Right. So I've had some interesting experiences with core values as well in my career. So has there been a specific instance that you can point to that would be an example for other women where you have to you've had to choose your values versus the values of a company, for example?
Sure. I had a client in 2017 that wanted to obtain a $200,000 line of credit for he needed it because of a lawsuit with a nurse practitioner against his firm. It was a pediatric clinic. And he felt that if the bank, a very large bank known, I guess I could name it, Chase Bank, if they were to see his P&L and balance sheet, they probably would not approve him. So what he did was asked me to produce financial reports, which I did, and then he edited them and removed some liabilities on the balance sheet. But he was uneducated in the idea to know that the top half of the balance sheet and the bottom half of the balance sheet have to match in assets and liabilities.
Right.
So the totals did not match. Okay. He submitted those through a secure link to Chase Bank. Chase Bank sent him an email back and, clearly disclosing there's a problem. And he came to me and he knew he was going to have to disclose himself to me. And so he came to me and was like, this is what I submitted. And this is, Chase Bank's response. I need to come clean and tell you what I did. And that was a challenge for me in the moment to live and breathe my core values. So I approached it with curiosity. Can you explain to me why you removed these and what was your goal. What were you trying to achieve? When you signed on that loan document, said that you attest that these are true and correct. How can you sign that and do this? Like I did, had a courageous conversation, and then waited a week before I came back and said I would like to have a conversation about the situation that happened last week. Because I have told you in the 6-7 years we've worked together that honesty and integrity are my core values. And I've told you, if you want to cheat, you want to lie, because there were some other incidents that had happened, not this extreme, okay? But he had produced like a fax cover sheet to submit a document that never went, right? Showing that it actually had by copying 2 documents together. There were little things that had happened. It wasn't my work, but I told him, if you ever touch my work, you do something like that, this relationship's over. Well, this is what he did. He touched my work. And I have credentials. I can be held accountable for my financial statements. And so I approached him and said, I'm going to help you finish out these tasks, but we're going to need to terminate our relationship. And his question to me was, why now? Because he had done a few of these little things along the way, right? So even though he knew my core values, because I didn't at the very first one, and I'm not saying you should have, I believe there's an approach of working with somebody and having grace and understanding, right? And bringing them to, look, this is a deal breaker for me. This bothers me. This is out of integrity. But ultimately, we had just done a QuickBooks update the week before this. So I was able to use that with Chase Bank. We just apologized. We had a corrupted file. Our IT people got into the server. They fixed it, which is all true. We had corruption, but it wasn't related to that, right? But it was still true. I wrote a letter on my behalf because my integrity is on the line. I have other clients besides this client. But that gig was anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 a month. So it was a huge loss of revenue as their business consultant and outsourced practice administrator. However, when you step back and you go, these are my core values, and I will not lie. I will not cheat. These are non-negotiables for me. You have to be willing, no matter the consequences, to proceed in that space and make those tough decisions. And they will come at a time that doesn't feel convenient.
Absolutely. That's one of the, I think, the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs face, and the fact that you've done that, faced that, lived your core values, is a testament to your strength, and the example that you provide to all entrepreneurs, women and men. And I want to thank you for that, not only for the story, but for living that life that you currently live.
And you have to be open to the fact that we're not always going to do it perfect. We were not always going to have the best courageous conversation. We might be rude, harsh, condescending, judgmental, critical. They might feel shame, regret, fear, guilt, and how we respond to that and how we treat them through that process is a growth opportunity for us. So not only to face your fear of confronting somebody with the truth, but being able to work on the back end about what it stirs up inside of you and what you really want to create with that relationship. And having a vision of how you want to begin it and how you want to end it will help you live it, breathe it, be it. Yeah.
I'm curious, what were your feelings before and during and after? How did you experience that activity?
Well, before, I never dreamed he would do something like that. Like, we were in a tough financial position. The legal battles were extensive. The fraud that this nurse practitioner had done, she had requested staff to provide medical records and leave them behind the building. So the HIPAA violations, we had to go through a whole OIG audit. The amount that it triggered in the practice, like, her goal was to shut him down, right? And his goal was like, no matter what, I'm not shutting down. I've been through hell before in my business. And so out of fear, I knew out of fear was why he did what he did. And that was what I led into when he was revealing what his choices were. I said, can you trust that and that you will pull through this and you will get the resources you need if you are transparent and honest? But if you lie, you're doing the same thing she's doing.
Right.
And so my feelings, that was hard. That was not easy to do, to confront somebody that you've worked with for several years and is a significant part of your portfolio of client base, right? I have a lot of clients, but there's times when I'm doing high-end consulting gigs. I have a lot of focused energy put towards a handful of clients. And that was one of those things where I usually worked on site 2 to 3 days a week, and besides the work I did remotely. So my feelings were, I've covered this ahead of time with you, what my core values are. I can't believe that you're really violating them. And then it's okay, I have to accept, awareness is first. Second step is I have to accept that this is happening. And then what is inside of me, the values that I want to uphold, the choices I want to make, and the desired action to live and breathe and be those things that I've already set. I can't change what's happened, but I can make it worse or I can make it better. I wasn't sure how to deal with it. And that's one reason I gave myself time to figure out how to respond. One, I wanted to dissolve the problem and the emergency need to apply for funding. But I also, on the back end, wanted to have a courageous conversation to talk about where this relationship was going to go now that had been violated, that trust had been violated. Because I said, how can I trust that you aren't doing other things that are violating my work and my integrity? I have a name in the industry. I'm very well known. No, I don't know this Chase banker, but my company has an EIN. My company can be flagged. I need to protect that. And this is not something I can continue. I can't.
Right. So, and now that you've gone through that process, right, what feelings do you have that you were able to stand up and live according to those core values? What message would you tell everybody else about that feeling subsequently?
Well, you have a lot more peace, and it reduces the stress, because those situations are very, very stressful, and you have to have your own steps to walk through. How do I create and the dis-ease I feel inside of me, right? How do the turmoil, the frustration, the terrified feelings, the anger, what is my way to work through this? Because we're all human. I could be put in a situation tomorrow where I feel I have no opportunities and my fear is so great that I lie and I cheat. We are all capable of the same thing. So I have to take myself back to my own humanity and that I'm not better than he is. I just simply remind myself of my foundation and my core values, and that these are deal breakers for me, and they are hardcore deal breakers. And that means I have to make some really tough decisions. Andy Stanley has a quote that says, being a leader doesn't mean you always know what to do, but being a leader means you will do what you need to do.
Ooh, and you live that. You live that. Not only it's not just a statement. It's not just a quote. It's a way of life, right?
Well, and also realize each of these things that you go through, prior experiences you had in an SBA loan application, you got denied. You can put yourself in. Well, it didn't happen to me, but I'm using it as an example within a client. You can put yourself in their shoes and go, this is the tension they were feeling. This is the frustration, and their fear is looming larger than their core values. And we all can do that. You can call it a scarcity mindset. You can call it a limiting belief. At the core, we're all human. We all have those emotions. And the more that I can put myself in their shoes and have curiosity, not why did you do that, but why did you do that? Why didn't you contact me and go, is there a way to adjust the balance sheet so all these debts don't show? Like, can we approve anything? Is there legally, rightfully, have that preemptive conversation instead of just taking matters into your own hands and editing a PDF. That's not going to solve anything. And of course, then I educated him. I wasn't so condescending and rude, like, you dumbass. You didn't know the balance sheet has to be in balance, both in the assets and the liabilities, and the bottom line net of the business has to all balance out. But I educated him once I did. I said, see here, and can you pull up the reports that I sent you? And so he did. And I said, do you see these numbers? Do you see how they reflect each other? And do you see how the bottom line has to match? So when you edited things out, you needed to adjust those numbers, and you did it. And so therefore, this is why they say the reports are wrong.
So you really kind of come from a position of compassionate curiosity when somebody abridges or comes up against your values. And I think that's one of the key points that I'm discerning from what you're saying. There's a difference between talking down at somebody because they violated those and being curious and compassionate about where they come from so that you can help them, even though you know that this is going to be the end of the relationship.
Yeah, and that's been something I've had to learn. I didn't start there. I was raised in a very religious cult and a very abusive environment. So harshness, criticalness, hurry up, get it done. You're not doing it fast enough. You're not good enough. Why did you do that? But that kind of attitude just brings on more guilt to people and shame. And even if they've made a mistake, they don't need that layer to have to deal with also. There's one thing to say what you did was inappropriate versus who you are is a bad person and you're inappropriate. Those are two different things. They're still worthy of love and affection. They're still worthy of everything. They are still a good person. They just made a bad choice. And I was not made to feel that in my childhood. I was a bad person. I was used goods. I've been raped. I'm this. And so I've learned from various people. One of my favorite leaders is Gabor Mate. He's a trauma expert, and he's the one that talks about having that curiosity and compassion. And when I said harshly, why did you do that versus why did you do that? That came from him because he models it well on his interviews we tend to go, why did you do that?
Right.
Instead of, why did you do that? It's the same question. It's just like, but we feel defensive. We feel attacked. We feel being cornered with no way out, no opportunity to make a decision based on our core values and integrity. And we want those people to like us. So we have our own transparency back. Like, can we justify it or do we hold to truth? And holding to truth is not going to be easy many, many times. But holding to truth and our core values inside brings life and it brings peace. And we all thrive in a calm environment. We all grow when we are dealt with compassion. When we are treated with harshness, we create a gap and a wedge between us. And it's harder. It's an uphill battle to overcome. So learning to relate to the other person with kindness. It doesn't mean you're not angry. It doesn't mean you're not upset. You're disappointed.
Right.
But owning, like, I am very disappointed you did this. I am hurt after 6 years, almost 7 years of working together that you made this choice. I am infuriated that my company is now on the radar with Chase Bank. Like, those things, those are hard to say. They take courage. But anything that we're going to do and excel at is going to require courage. And so as women, whether it's a man or a woman sitting across from you, whether it's your child or your friend, or it's a police officer or a president of the United States, you need to be able to have that ability to discuss those things that hurt, the pain inside, without attacking, without criticizing, and draw them into kindness and compassion.
Wow. That's truly amazing, Misty. Thank you so much. I really appreciate these are hard conversations to have. And the fact that you've lived them and can actually provide that as advice and counsel for all the listeners today, I really appreciate your time and energy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, JB. And I assume everybody knows they'll get the 7 steps to creating your peace pause for inner wealth.
Well, yep, that's what we want to do, is make sure that we can identify how people can get in touch with you, any types of information that we can get. Obviously in our Facebook group, we'll have a lot of that information, but if there's anything specific that you'd want to tell the audience, please feel free. Now's the time.
Well, they can connect with me on any social media site through Misty W. Gilbert. I'm most active with conversations on Facebook, but I love meeting new people and having organic conversations. And I want to encourage, support, and inspire people to create the life that they want, to live intentionally from their core values. This will create peace and freedom.
Awesome. Thank you. Everybody, please, whenever you're listening to this, please take advantage of this offer that Misty has. She's an amazing entrepreneur, has overcome so much, and can really be the shining light of an example on how you can live your life on a values-based way and actually build a business that's successful based on living those core values as well. So thank you very much, Misty. Really appreciate your time today.
I do too. Thank you.
Well, our final speaker today understands that at the heart of human empowerment lies our ability to form meaningful connections. And I'm delighted to introduce Ksenia Droben, an award-winning international matchmaker and certified dating coach whose influence has transformed the lives of people across 6 countries. Since 1998, she's been mastering the art and science of human connection. And while many see matchmaking as simply bringing people together, she sees it as something far more profound, the catalyst for personal transformation and authentic relationships. What makes her perspective truly unique, though, is her ability to bridge cultures and understand the universal truths of human connection. Based in London, but working with European clients across the continent, she brings a rich multicultural understanding to the dynamics of relationships. And as a mother of 4, she intimately understands the delicate balance of nurturing both personal and professional relationships. So today she's going to share her profound insights on how authentic connections can become stepping stones to personal empowerment. So whether you're seeking to enhance your personal relationships or strengthen your professional networks, her wisdom will illuminate the path to more meaningful connections. Please join me in welcoming our final speaker, a woman who has made an art of bringing hearts and minds together, the extraordinary Ksenia Droben. Welcome.
Hi, JB. Thank you so much for this amazing introduction. It was really interesting because yesterday I returned from Kazakhstan where I was filmed for one TV show, and there was a question, who is matchmaker? Because many people still think it's just about putting people together, but it's much more than. It's really about relationship. And sorry for my sound, I'm in Greece in the holidays with my kids. So that's why some dogs are barking suddenly, exactly this time I had to present.
No worries.
And so I think everything we do in our life, it's about relationship. I read somewhere one very interesting article. It was about Great Britain. There was one research over 75 years for men, exactly for men. And the question was, what can make you happy? And they ask people from higher level, this private school, private university, or some normal people, simple people. And a really interesting thing is the only one thing that can make people happier is relationship, romantic relationship, friendship, whatever. And this is the thing I try to teach my clients and my prospects and people who listen to me, just, how to be a nicer person, how to be more likable. Because if you are more likable in your normal life, you will be more likable in your relationship. And this is really interesting thing, especially about romantic relationship, so I hope some people who are listening are single or maybe searching for somebody. And the big mistake people do, if they want to find somebody, they write the wish list. I want to find somebody who is tall. I want to find somebody who is handsome. I want to find somebody who is owning the yacht. And my recommendation is always start with yourself. Who can make you happy? What can make you happy? And what do you need to feel well? And very often we don't need yacht, we don't need house, we don't need villa, we just need the person to talk to.
Mhm.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite topics about how to start. And exactly this thing, if you think about it more globally, exactly this is about everything in the world.
Mhm.
If you want to start your business, it's not about how do you want to earn money. It's what I am special about.
Mhm.
What can I do better than anybody else? What are my strengths? If you don't know yourself, probably you will never be successful in anything. Yeah,
Mm.
one of my beliefs. Yeah. Oh, I see my introduction. Sorry. Just started reading text about myself and was distracted. I would like to share with you. I know it's not maybe the main line of your summit of this.
This is your time.
Okay, I want because what I'm going to tell you now, it's really about relationship, and it will help if you are single or if you are not, for everybody. So I share with you the science about love. Because love, it's not about feelings. There are 5 components of love. And if you know this theory, we can improve our relationship and we can be better data or better people for our families. One component we hardly can improve, it's chemistry. Because usually it's based on their smell, we like somebody or we don't. It can change with time, of course, because with age we change our smell. But generally, so this spark of love, people confuse with real feelings. And one of my recommendation, if you feel something special about this person immediately, just wait until it's slowing down, until it's going down, because you need to put your brain in to make important decisions about your relationship. The second component of love, it's emotions. It's very important to be emotional about something, not in relationship. If you go to the restaurant and have a good food, positive emotions. If you go to the restaurant and have awful food, negative emotions, the same. Important is that we have something that we experience together, because science says that all these common emotions, they put us together and make this special bond. Third component of love, it's time. Many people believe that, especially if you start dating, that, or you have, especially women, there are a lot of coaches who coach this. So if you go for the first day, let him hungry. So don't spend a lot of time with him, because if you will spend a lot of time with him, he will think that you are a boring woman. You will tell him about yourself, everything, and it will be bad for relationship. I think generally that if after 2 hours he is bored listening to you, probably you are the wrong person for this guy. So it's one of my beliefs. But there is science, and science says that to start feeling something special about each other, you have to spend minimum 90 minutes. If you think in terms of marketing, in terms of sales, many meetings, many webinars, they are about 90 minutes, because it helps people to trust you, to things started, how can I say, feeling that you are a friend. They don't afraid of you. 90 minutes, really interesting. If you control all this, especially sales webinars, they all are 90 minutes and longer. The fourth component of love, it's very important. It's the activity we experience together. And doesn't matter what you do. Playing football, playing chess, watching the film, walking around, cooking together. Because if you do something together and you share how to do, and maybe you teach each other, it would be the best outcome. You feel warm and strong and very special about each other. And the fifth, it's this famous paradox of choice. The more choice we have on all levels of our life, we have to have this restricted choice to make the right one. Why do I share it with you? Because it's really not about dating only. It's about relationship. Many people come to me, even if it's not my level, and say, Ksenia, how can I don't know, make our relationship better. We don't know what to talk about. We don't feel anything about each other. What I recommend, spend more time, do something together, and think about how can you add more feelings to what you do. I don't know, jumping with parachute or renting the boat and get lost. I don't know, collecting mushrooms and get poisoned. It doesn't matter. Important is that you plan it, you realize it, and you do it together and feel something. Because even negative feelings, they are still feelings, and negatives to positives, it's always possible to change. I think that the worst people are those who don't feel anything, who are always the same, always the same. I don't feelings level. Maybe it's somehow connected with hormones. Yes, so it's and another thing that can revive any dying relationship. Scientists call it relationship talk. Relationship talk. It's about 10 minutes a day. You speak about everything except household, except children, except money. Because if people live together and discuss who is bringing their rubbish out, it's not about their relationship. It's the reason to argue once again. So that's why this 10 minutes. It's really these 10 minutes are enough to start feeling better and stronger about each other. This is little advice for people who might be searching, who might be single, or who might be in their relationship they don't enjoy. I strongly believe that if you are in relationship, it's easier. Even if you're not happy about it, it's easier to rescue it, to I don't know the right word. Probably rescue it and work on it instead of cancel this one and searching for the new one. Their science said that it's not necessary that the new one will be the better than the old one.
I have a question I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you talked about 90 minutes in the sales side to really get to know somebody. 90 minutes, and yet when we generally can make these assumptions within 90 seconds of meeting somebody, right? It's why people always talk, and Misty could probably talk about it from the perspective of being in the entrepreneurial world. You have a quick elevator pitch, which is 90 seconds, not 90 minutes. And so we have this one side of us that says, we got to get it done really fast. Boom, 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 boom. And then on the other side, the science says, hey, it takes time. 90 minutes, not 90 seconds, right, to do that. How can we utilize and understand and take the time to learn more about other people? What are the steps that we might want to consider to make that happen?
Can you put me on the stage, back on the stage?
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this amazing question. I will start earlier, because what you're asking, how to know each other better in business world or in private world, it's the next step. But there is one really interesting thing about science, and I like this question. If I'm in the big room and people can raise a hand and tell me their opinion, there are first impression when we meet somebody for the first time, and second impression. First impression, it's the moment they are, like I always say, the door is opening, the red carpet is rolling up, you go in the restaurant, your date or your business partner and sitting on the table and see you for the first time. So really first seconds, especially men are very good in these first seconds. Women need more time. And second impression, when you start talking. So I am amazing woman, I am great in my business, I can do this, I can do that. It's second. And if you ask most people, because I did it many times, which one is more important, first or first second? Most people say first second, because what are you telling about yourself, or context, or the text is more important than this appearance.
Mhm.
Science says first is more important. So it means when you go in the restaurant as a woman, beautiful woman, pretending you are so nice and friendly, but at the same time you're probably on the way to your date, you argued with the servant, or you kicked the cat on your way, or something like this, without saying any word, or you are late. You go to the table and tell to your date, oh, I like animals. I am always so friendly. I am always so polite. Oh, sorry for being late. Usually I never late. It's just exceptional situation.
Mhm.
He might think, he believes, but his unconscious mind saying, you are lying, woman, because you kicked the cat, you were rude to the servant, and you came late. So this is the thing what I recommend to people, because I do a lot of single events, and these are the steps I try to improve in their presentation. I say start smiling 100 meters before the restaurant, because
Mhm.
you never know who is watching out of the window, who is seeing you, and he is observing you. Start doing it, start being in this presenting mood, speaker mood, far away before you open the door and tell that you are amazing woman.
Mm.
And this is really interesting thing, because if you destroy this first, it will take a lot of time to convince people that you are the opposite one. So that's why 90 minutes, again, 90 minutes help you to let them forget about this first impression and start listening to you. And this 90 minutes, it's very important for building trust.
Mm.
Many people right now, they are overwhelmed in this psychological theories. They are really confused about narcissist or all this stuff. They have issues with trust, especially don't forget we stayed 2 years at home because of pandemic, and people really lost their communication skills, many of them. So that's why for most people, trusting each other, especially if you first started chatting online, it's really big issue. So that's why 90 minutes talking, asking, the longer we spend time together, the more likely we will find something that put us together. A bad example is a Stockholm syndrome. I
Ah,
know it's better,
okay.
bad example, but this is a proof
Sure.
that spending time together, especially not 90 minutes, but over the time,
Right.
people start liking even criminals.
Right. Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as we start thinking about how we can apply all of this during the course of our personal lives and in our professional lives, it becomes really important to, understand kind of, I guess, where you are, what your objectives are, right? Put yourself in the framework, the mental framework of how you want to be long before the event occurs. In your example, it was a date. It could be a business appointment. It could be anything, right? So you put that together in your head. You start acting it out in advance. Then you have the event, and then it's not just boom. Although that's really what you want is that first moment. Then the next part of that is give yourself the 90 minutes. Give yourself the time to not only get to know each other, but to build the trust that's necessary in order for you to have a connection. Is that right? Holy smokes, we got it right.
Yes, and there is one recommendation, because so
Sure.
especially for women, because
Mhm.
women, they have more issues or more problems with trust.
Mhm.
We really more likely being, I don't know, so supposing why he's doing this, why did he say that. We forget that men are very simple. Usually what men say, they think, even if we don't like it. And we, in our mind, in our female mind, I always say like snake mind.
Mhm.
We try, what did he want to say? How did he mean it? Why did? It's very simple. Men are very simple. But I always give one advice to women, especially if you prepare for a business meeting, if you prepare for your date, if you prepare for something. Go outside and on the way to the venue, look at every man and in your head say, oh, he is so great because he's wearing shopping bags. He's amazing helper in his family. He's working with his child. He's amazing father. Or he has such nice shoulders. Or I like his hair. Or his nose is amazing. Or his glasses is amazing. So it means he has taste. You know, really in your head, when you look at people and say compliments to men, without saying it loud, as soon 5 minutes, you really need 5 minutes, or women need 5 minutes, and you start feeling something special, and men react different. So if for men, probably men are always in this mind of saying compliments to women or thinking about it, but for women it's different, because most women, they think, and we know it's wrong, and you know it's wrong. Most women think that saying too many compliments to men will spoil them. And it's so wrong, because if he did something small but great, why not saying thank you, your coffee in the morning? It's such amazing thing. I've never had it in my life, but women think, yeah, okay, if I will say it too often, he will think that, so he's over me and I will spoil him. Not, all women who are listening right now, say compliments to everybody. You go to the coffee shop, you see barista, don't be afraid to say, I've never drank such amazing coffee. It's the best coffee in the world, if you really think it.
Right.
One of my, sorry, say it, for women who are shy and have problems starting conversation with men, taxi drivers. The best thing, because you stay in the car, you cannot escape. He cannot escape. That both are in the same room. You cross this crossroad. It was so great. I couldn't find the right position, this traffic light and all this car. You did it so great. You're such a good driver. If he was really a good one. And you will feel from some point that people react, and you will have no problems or no issues to say compliment to everybody, just because people are nice and you're nice.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Thank you.
So are there ways that the audience can reach out to you and touch you and get the wisdom of your knowledge and experience?
Can you bring
Yep.
me back to?
Go ahead.
Okay. So you can find me, so you can see my name for English speakers, native speakers. It's quite complicated to pronounce it. You did it well. Thank you. You are one of the exceptional people who pronounce my name right. Ksenia Droben. You can find me everywhere. I am on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram. I am on YouTube, TikTok, and I am more than happy to share my message with all people who need it, because relationship, love, life is so simple. We overcomplicate it and stop enjoying it. Everything is very simple.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here on vacation from Greece with your family. So much. We really appreciate you. Well, we've come to the close of our summit today, and I'm reminded of the story at the very beginning of our journey today. We talked about those ancient trees and their roots running deep and their branches reaching skyward. Throughout today's sessions, we've witnessed exactly how the garden of human potential flourishes when we remove the constraints and allow every individual to grow to their full height. So what we witnessed today isn't just a series of talks, it's really living proof of what happens when we allow every person to reach their full potential, whether it's through the systems and processes that we walked through with Ella early on, whether it's living through your core values that Misty's talked about, whether it's identifying how you can actually look at other people and see the good in them before you even see the good in yourself sometimes, as what Ksenia was talking about. Like those trees in our garden, each of our speakers has not only grown to their impressive height, but has created conditions to nurture the growth of others. So I invite you to consider, all the listeners, what constraints are you ready to release? What branches of possibility are you willing to reach this towards the sky for? Remember, when you grow to your full height, you don't cast shadows, you create space for others to flourish alongside you. The garden of human potential is not a finite space. It expands with every person who dares to grow, and with every hand that reaches out to support another, with every voice that speaks its truth. Today, we planted the seeds of transformation, and now it's up to each of us to nurture them. Thank you to our extraordinary speakers for sharing their wisdom. Thank you to each of you for being part of this journey. And remember, in the Garden of Unity, every individual's growth contributes to a more abundant world for all. So, may your roots grow deep, your branches reach high, and your unique gifts continue to enrich the shared garden of human potential. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to sharing other great stories and experiences at the next Global Start Summit. See you next month. Take care.